Hey everybody, welcome back to this video. My name is Eric McGrew, and even though I'm with Eric's Tree Service, today I'm bringing you a video on Ryobi angle grinders for metal fabrication. If you guys don't know, before I ever started in tree service work again, I did a lot of metal fabrication, and my metal fabrication was building off-road bumpers and some suspensions and stuff, but a lot of it was just retrofitting farm equipment, repairing stuff, and that kind of stuff as well. There's a number of reasons why I swapped over, but that's beside the point. The point here today is we're going to talk about 5 things you need to avoid or know about using Ryobi angle grinders when doing metal fabrication. Now, this can be if you're looking for a shop that uses them fairly regularly, or you're just looking at it for a DIY project at home. So there's a number of things. First off, one reason for buying them that you should know, and this is number one, is that they are cheap. They're like 30 bucks or something, $35 or something like that per angle grinder. And for me, that was really beneficial. Specifically because of the kind of work that I will continue to do, whatever, with the angle grinders. If I dropped them, they didn't break the bank like some of the others that I had that were like $200 a piece or 150 bucks a piece. So that is one thing you need to know. They're cheap, but that means that there are some things that you have to keep an eye on as well. But we'll get into those in numbers 3 through 5. Number two that you need to know about these is that they are available at just about every Home Depot that you go to, and they are a reasonably quality product for the price that you pay. So that is important to know, because you may wonder, well, is $30, which is what you basically spend on a Chicago Electric or whatever the new Harbor Freight name brand is it much different? Yes, it is. These are a lot better than anything I've ever bought from Harbor Freight. I will say that. So number one is that they are definitely cheap. Number two is that anywhere there's a Home Depot, they are readily available. For me, this was a huge thing because they were easily accessible when or if I dropped them, or if I lent them to a helper and they burnt them up or whatever. So these are kind of the pros to why you would buy these and use them in your shop or whatever. Now, numbers 3 through 5 are what you need to watch out for with these angle grinders, what you need to know. So one thing about these is that there are a lot of failure points on them. The arbor itself and the motor system, the gear cogs and things are all plastic, or at least they were last time I took them apart. I can't see down in there, but I think they still are plastic. So the gearing in the head and the armature and all that are plastic, and if you excessively press on the armature, or if you force a brush or a cutoff wheel or something too hard, there is a good chance that you are going to create lots of play inside the head, and it's going to wear unevenly, and it's going to start to, wobble a lot and walk around while using it, and it's going to ruin the bearings even faster, and you're going to have an issue. Okay, so that's number 3. Number 4 is that when you are using these, be careful of these with the twist feature. I don't know if I can do this one-handed. I don't think I can. Oh, yeah, there. See how the handle twists on them? Be careful of this, because that button will pop loose on you, and it will eventually get to where this contact in there, right in this twisting area, has become worn out, and you won't get contact, and then the trigger won't work, and it is a common failure point on these units. So the twist handles, while beneficial in a lot of ways, and I actually do like them to a large degree, they do basically three things. They fail in contact. Eventually the ratcheting system and mechanism that holds it twisted at different angles starts to wear out, and then the handle becomes really loose, and then the top part of the body versus the handle becomes really unstable, and it wobbles a lot and that kind of stuff. So you have to learn how to deal with that, and that's something to keep in mind. So excessive pressure on these units for the mechanisms of the armature and the handle, not real good ideas, okay? Just so you know. And on this kind here, with the switches are definitely a failure point. They are weak plastic, and they will break easily if they're dropped, or even with constant use of turning on and off, they just are failure points. And they don't come with locks, so you can't really lock the switch on and use it, okay? So that's number 4, are the switches. The triggers are failure points, and you need to know that so that you can baby them a little bit more. Now, point number 5 of all of this is probably one of the most important. Sorry, I'm holding the camera so it's shaking around. And that is because you have to know how to use this piece of equipment so that it will last on you. So if you're looking for a piece of fabricating equipment that is precision, that you can like grunt through work with, this is not the piece of equipment. Go get yourself a Bosch or a Makita or Milwaukee even. You know, the Milwaukees haven't done real well for me lately. So Bosch or Makita, or, you know, whatever you want to get that's like that. So these here, the motors and the heads are fairly fragile, I want to say. Let's say they are a moderate level of quality, okay? That, I mean, it is a $30 angle grinder. Keep this in mind. So if you are cutting like thick plate or thick bolts or anything, and you are like holding the blade still and just pushing inward with it basically, and you're trying to just push through, these things are going to burn out on you, almost guaranteed. The motor will overheat. Some of them have caught fire, and they will sizzle, melt plastic, smoke and billow and whatever. So you can't do that. But there is a way to do it. You just have to be conscious of it. It is a challenge in tight areas though. So keep that in mind. So you have to very gently run the blade across, back and forth, and dig a groove in it until it cuts through. If you do that and let the blade do the cutting, not actually forcing it, these things will cut. I've had one of these angle grinders that I use for flat stock, and I mean, I've cut like 5/8 and I've cut 3/4 plate with it, but I just gently go back and forth with it, which takes a little bit longer. But that thing has lasted over 1.5 years. No, that thing's lasted 3 years almost. Man, I can't believe I've had it that long. But it's because I've used it in a very controlled and precise way. So can these things last? Yes, they can. But you have to understand what their limitations are, which is the whole purpose of this video. So you have to go slow and light on the blades so that they cut through with the blade friction and not with grunt force, okay? If you do that, your angle grinder could very well last you for many, many years. Now, I will say that because of the nature of the work, like I'm taking this flatbed off right now, I'm building a new dump bed, and I'm putting a crane turret and pedestal on this one, and I'm also cutting another one of these same trucks, cutting it in half, and I'm putting this flatbed on it and making a 16-foot trailer out of it. And I'll do it all with these little Ryobi angle grinders. Now this one here, that one there is done. It's gone. It started smoking its guts out, and now it's time to go get a new angle grinder, and that's fine. But it's $30, and this thing, this is my friend's shop. So he does a lot of metal fabrication, and they are hard on these things, and that thing has lasted, I think, 7 months or 5 months or something like that. So still, for him, $30 is worth it, especially the kind of work that, you know, we do in this shop. And if you drop it, it's $30 versus $200. Or if it gets run over by the truck because it fell off the bed, or if it gets, you know, forgotten on a job site where he does a lot of like handrail installations and stairs and stuff in high-end houses, doesn't matter. It's $30. Or if one of the other contractors walks by and takes off with your angle grinder, which happens, it's $30 versus a $200 angle grinder. And the other thing is people are less likely to steal a Ryobi than they are a Bosch or a Milwaukee or, you know, a DeWalt or whatever, right? So just keep that in mind. They can be great items to use if you use them well. And what I would like to say is that I do tend to keep a high-end angle grinder around, or a grunt angle grinder, even if it's a Ryobi, just one that I'm going to grunt through stuff knowing it's going to burn out. And then I keep 1 or 2 around that are like for finessing things. But there is one thing that these things will never be good at. With higher end precision angle grinders, you can make more stable cuts with them, and you can make more match piece components if needed. But with these from the box, just because they're fairly cheap and the armatures are fairly cheap and everything, I don't consider them high precision. They have a bit of wobble in them in the armature and in the head, so the disc isn't always going to stay exactly right, and I wouldn't trust them to duplicate components that need to be precise, okay? So having a high-end angle grinder around that's like in shop just for specific things is not a bad idea. But these are great. You just need to know those 5 things. So 1, they're cheap. 2, they're available at almost every Home Depot, so you don't have to run around and look for them. And they're almost always in stock, whereas the high-end ones that even Home Depot sells aren't always there. You have to wait. 3, you need to know that the components in them are lightweight. They're plastic and like cast aluminum that's very thin. And then 4, the triggers are a major fail point and break point on these. And then 5, you can't grunt them through work. You have to let them do the work themselves. So I don't know that you guys care about this. I don't know that it's interesting to you at all. You know what though? I made a video on it. So hope you enjoy it. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Also, don't forget to continue to look in the description for different links. I have links on where you can get these. If they're available on Amazon, I'll have an Amazon link, which is an affiliate link. If you choose to buy through that link, then it helps support my channel and it helps me continue to create videos such as this, also such as what I'm doing for the tree climbing and all that kind of stuff. And I will talk to you guys later. See you in the next one.